Vegan side effect. Feel like you are soaring high? You deserve it.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
我们的节目提供多种语言，请看 suprememastertv.com/schedule。
The Taíno people are the people of the Caribbean. They are the people that the land of the Caribbean birthed. We are its daughters and sons. The Taíno are good people of the Caribbean. Watch on to find out more.
Taigwe, helpful viewers. Taigwe means good day in Taíno, a language once spoken across the Caribbean. The earth-loving Taíno people enjoy watching the natural changes that come with the shift in the seasons, and I hope that you too have a chance to admire nature's beautiful transformations. Welcome to today's show. The Taíno, or Good People of the Caribbean. Irka Mateo from the Dominican Republic is of Taíno descent. She is a singer, songwriter, as well as composer. Miss Mateo has said, "The Taíno people are the people of the Caribbean. They are the people that the land of the Caribbean birthed. We are its daughters and sons." To understand the Taíno people, let's begin by exploring their ties to the Arawak. The Arawak people initially resided around the Orinoco River in Venezuela, and then traveled to other islands approximately 1500 years ago. Their journey took a migratory route northward along the islands of the Caribbean, and they are considered by many to be the Taínos' ancestors. The Taíno people are the indigenous people of the Caribbean. They lived in Jamaica, Cuba, Hispaniola, or today's Haiti and Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, and the Lesser Antilles. The language spoken was Taíno, an unwritten dialect belonging to the Arawakan language family that developed among ancient indigenous peoples in South America. The term Taíno is thought to mean good people, possibly a reflection of them being a welcoming group who built relationships with neighboring islands, largely through travel over water via canoe. They also kindly greeted guests to their own islands. Talented canoe constructors, the early Taíno used tree trunks to create boats. Planks were added on each side of the canoe. Boats were used to trade with people from other islands. The Taíno of Jamaica also had a fondness for river systems and referred to their island as Jamaica, meaning land of wood and water. Antigua was home to a large number of Taíno prior to 1493. The Taíno name for the island Yarumaki was derived from the name of the plant that canoes were made of. In that era, visitors would have arrived to the island via canoe and greeted by a host who was sent by the village elder. They had friendly ties with people on neighboring islands and also good trading relationships. The hospitable Taíno often treated their guests to a great feast, which featured their traditional cassava bread. It is said that during gatherings, only one man spoke at a time, and that those who listened to the speaker hummed to show their agreement with what was being said. The Taíno initially introduced the practice of horticulture to the Caribbean area, including in Antigua and Barbuda. Previous people living in these regions were nomadic. However, the Arawak planted and tended to their cassava crops, and their houses and villages came to be built around these crops. The initial houses were round in shape and measured about 3.6 meters or 12 feet across, with a large post in the center that supported the roof. The walls were made of bark and reeds that were woven together. The roofs were made from palm thatch and were quite high, measuring about 7.6 meters or 25 feet in height, coming to an apex at the top center. The elegance of this design is that the steep slope helped the rain to roll off, hence creating a waterproof roof. Many of the houses were sturdily built to withstand hurricanes. They were clustered together near plazas where social activities such as dancing and special ceremonies would take place. Women were responsible for preparing the food, including cassava, which was a staple in the diet. The benefit of cassava is that it didn't spoil easily and hence made a good source of food for canoe trips. However, cassava contains cryogenic glycosides and is poisonous in its raw natural state, so it had to be carefully prepared. This was done by grating the root on a board until it formed a paste. The board was created with a rough surface using pebbles or coral. The next step involves putting the paste into a special wicker tube attached to a tree branch at one end and a weight on the other, causing the tube to contract and force out the poisonous liquid. The resulting paste was dried and could then be worked into a flour using a mortar and pestle. They cooked cassava flat cakes by baking on a griddle. Other foods that they ate included roasted and boiled corn, green corn soup, beans, and yams. The Taíno were animistic in their spirituality, believing that all things possessed souls or spirits that could be either benevolent or malevolent. Good spirits were believed to reside in crafted images made of shell, coral, ceramics, cotton, or even stone. These were called semis. They also believed in gods including the chief god of cassava, the goddess of fertility Yukahu, and the guardian of the dead. The guardian of the dead often took on the form of a dog. The communities were also skilled in other art forms, such as pottery, and pottery designs were intended to attract good spirits and repel bad ones. Today, many Taíno people recognize how important it is to care for our planet and see this connection with the earth and nature as an integral part of their spirituality. Valerie Nanachure Vargas Estevez makes presentations on and is a teacher of Taíno culture.
So, to me, Taíno spirituality takes a great hold of me on a daily basis. From the moment I open my eyes and look at the sun, and I thank Creator for everything. I try my best to take care of our Mother Earth that to me is so paramount. Saving our Earth right now, we're in dire trouble, and this is just so important to us. I hope that people understand and start changing the way they live so as to protect our Earth, our stars, our planet, our universe, for our children and all others that live here.
An increasing number of people have been discovering, celebrating, and reclaiming their Taíno heritage. One particular study found that a large portion of Puerto Rican people are Taíno descendants. Researchers used the tooth of a Taíno woman who lived somewhere between the 8th and 10th centuries to gain crucial insights into the Caribbean people's ancestry. It has provided clear scientific evidence of the continuation of the Taíno. The researchers stated that contemporary Puerto Ricans are closely related to the Taíno, and that they believe further studies will reveal the same for other Caribbean communities. The research was carried out by Dr. Hannes Schroeder and Professor S.K. Willershev, and published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, or PNAS. The findings have been embraced by the Taíno community. The words of Chief Jorge Baracute Esteves, a Taíno man who works for the National Museum of the American Indian in New York City, USA, sums up the importance of the findings to the Taíno people. He stated,
"Although this may have been a matter of scientific inquiry for them, to us, the descendants, it is truly liberating and uplifting."
Taíno culture is becoming more renowned through the work of various people, such as Dr. Leslie Gale Atkinson Swaby of Jamaica. Dr. Swaby studied Taíno culture for many years and was inspired to write a children's book entitled Boyanani, a Taíno girl's first adventure.
In 2010, IOJ, or Institute of Jamaica, was doing a Taíno Day, and I wanted an activity that would engage the students. And I didn't want to give a boring presentation, so I created that story in one night.
The original story. It's been expanded because it's now in a book form, but it was influenced by how mischievous I was as a child.
I mean, I was something. I would explore. I used to give my grandmother a lot of trouble.
The book includes Taíno words and also contains a glossary. In fact, the name Boyanani means sweet water flower. Dr. Swaby is also the founder of Culture Connection Camp, which aims to teach children how each ethnic group has contributed to Jamaica's culture. She said, "For Culture Connection, lessons on the cultural contributions of various ethnic groups will be provided through information-packed presentations, traditional folk music, storytelling sessions, interactive games, and arts and craft." We are overjoyed to have highlighted today Taíno history and some community members who are celebrating their culture and heritage. And we extend our gratitude to all the wonderful people who are helping to spread the knowledge of Taíno culture and language. Radiant viewers, it has been a pleasure to have your company on today's program. Coming up next is Shining World Compassion Award recipient Dr. Al Maderis, orthopedics revolutionary and human rights activist, right after noteworthy news, here on Supreme Master Television. May we always admire the beauty in the cultures across all the continents and protect our precious planet. Vegan, because it's low life to eat dead corpses.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/CTAW.